around the world by World Wide Web, Internet.
Your idea or wonderment might stimulate another person to pull out of their creative part of their brain a possible solution.
Without a lot more introduction, let's start with our first change maker from our Sacramento community. Our two guest change makers today are Joe Garaway, Director of SBAC, Sobriety Brings About a Change, and it has another name too, the Black Alcoholism Council. And later in the show, Bob Dandeneau, a hero in the process, who is currently a homeless man in Sacramento with lots of heart and some major accomplishments. But right now, it's my great pleasure at this moment to introduce you to Joe Garaway. Thanks so much for being on our first show, Action Callers, to share your learnings of how you and other people you know transform their complaints into creative, doable actions.
Good afternoon, Reva. Good to see you. And I really like the idea of how people do that. And one of the most exciting things in my life has been watching people transform their lives, and quite often the lives of other people around them, by putting something into action that they do that makes a difference.
So tell us about either some projects that people that you know that have transformed have made in this community, or even some of the things you've done to help our community.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, what I did to transform was to become involved in the development of SBAC, Sacramento Black Alcoholism Center, and also part of the process of naming it Sobriety Brings a Change. And my life took a real definite turn toward community involvement at that point. I've known others who have achieved similar kind of changes in their lives by the things that they've done. I have become involved with the Sacramento theater community, and one of the people I've been working with over the years is a guy who started with a dream to do theater and ended up owning his own theater, following through on the dream all the while, and actually developed a real theater community in Sacramento.
Is he still doing it?
No, he's temporarily involved in doing high school drama. He's working with several high schools for production and technical support.
And how have you been involved in the acting community besides the alcoholism community?
Well, I started out in my performance life as a singer. I auditioned for a show with the Sac City College drama department about 20 years ago, and obtained a role in it, and I've been doing shows, operas, and plays ever since.
Would you care to give us a melody?
Oh, certainly. You may have a melody. What melody would you like?
One of your most popular ones, of course.
Well, the one that everyone seems to like is Your Feet's Too Big.
Oh, I love that one.
Up in Harlem at a table for four, there was two of us, baby, you with big feet and you. From the tables up, you sure are neat. But from there on down, baby, you just too much feet.
And you got to get going with those feet. So again, what kind of support could you use from the community right now for the agency that you work for and are director of?
What we're looking for now is a beginning of an effort we call the direct development of integrated services. So what we're looking for is more specific cooperation and action from folks in the general service community to form an organization that can provide more affordable, more direct, and more effective kind of service. And we want to call it the integrated service system.
Yeah, so how can people out there know what that means, integrated services? What does that mean?
Well, we intend to have some public meetings in various sections of the community, which people can attend, and which people can look at the plans for it, and give their input as to how it should work and what are some of the things that it needs to address. And part of that will be our assessment of community needs.
So are you going to want people to come with their ideas?
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh. And when are you planning those?
Probably in the early spring, somewhere between the beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April.
Would you like some of our listeners to give you a call at SBAC, or do you want them to email you? How would you like them to get on the list so they make sure they know when those meetings are going to happen?
Well, we'd like to get fall calls. Our phone number at SBAC is 454-4242. And our address is 2425 Alhambra Boulevard, Sacramento, 95817, Suite F as in Frank.
Okay. And what else do you do there in terms of counseling? How does your counseling maybe differ than other counseling in other agencies?
Chiefly, our work with folks is with those who are chemically dependent, addicted to the stimulant drugs such as cocaine and amphetamines, or to alcohol and the tranquilizer drugs. And we also work with the families of these folks. Sometimes we work with the families without working with the principals who use drugs. And our main focus has always been the abusers, whether they are employed on welfare or in the highly placed in society or lowly placed. And so we work with a wide variety of people from different parts of the county all the time.
Okay, so what about fees? Do you have sliding scales? Is it only for the rich? How does that work?
No, we have a variety of scales, including zero. We do have a group of folks whom we see all the time and have always seen who simply don't have any money. And that's one of the aspects of chemical dependency. It wipes out your resources. So we see those folks. And we have a sliding scale for those who can afford to pay. We also take Medi-Cal for those who have it. And we have some insurers that we collect fees for service from, so that in all, there's no one who can't afford to be seen by us at SBAC.
Right, Joe. I really appreciate your coming here and putting up with our first time and learning how to do this kind of thing, being on the air. So it's been great having you, and I hope you come again. And make sure those of you out there give him a call if you have a problem. He's a great guy, and he has a group of therapists who are wonderful too. So get involved. Okay.
Bye-bye, Reva. Thank you.
Bye, Joe. And you're not leaving for good. You're going to come and join us after I talk with Bob here.
Okay.
So thanks again for giving us a taste of the community involvement in this River City community. I know that people in cities all over the United States have had many similar projects. At this time, I'd like you to meet Bob, our hero in process. He doesn't like that word hero, but I wanted to use it anyway. Sorry about that, Bob. Bob is currently homeless, but not hopeless. He's a courageous man who is trying to get himself out of homelessness and have energy to help others. And after hearing from Bob and his trials and adventures, we will have an unrehearsed discussion between Bob, Joe, and myself about ways to get from the complaint to the results that may alleviate the problem. So Bob, welcome and meet all our listeners out there.
Thank you, Reva.
Oh, you need me to talk for 3 more minutes. I don't know. Well, can I talk with Bob for 3 more minutes? And then we'll have a station break in just a little bit.
Well,
Yes, Reva, you can.
Okay, thanks.
You know what? I think this was out. I think we're right the first time.
Okay, so what?
30 seconds.
30
I
seconds.
think the timer is at a bad.
You think the timer has a bad piece, and we're just about there. You want to go with the station break now, and then Bob and I'll talk for a bit.
Yeah, Reva, I think other people need to know what else this station does, so why don't we give them a chance to find out.
This is The Voice.
Okay, and lights. camera, and action! Grab your hot buttered popcorn and get ready to enjoy the show. You're invited to take a front row seat with host Dave Fox on The Movie Score Weekly. Each and every week, Dave Fox brings you all your favorite music straight from the big screen. Listen as Dave goes behind the scenes to keep you informed on all your favorite movie composers, film release dates, and so much more. The Movie Score Weekly even features some of the rarest soundtracks in the music business, all in pure stereo. So join the fun each Thursday night starting at 8 and rebroadcast at 8 a.m. Friday mornings. You'll want to catch all the action. Don't miss The Movie Score Weekly.
Hi, this is the Young Turk. Listen to my show, The Dead Set. My house band is the Grateful Dead, but I also play the Doors, Santana, Jimi Hendrix, and other 60-related psychedelia. Not to mention reggae, rock and roll, blues. Don't be scared. I'll set you up. Young Turk, peace.
That's The Dead Set with Young Turk, Saturday nights at 6 on Sacramento's Voice.
For over 35 years, Peace Corps volunteers have been solving problems around the world. Many continue their commitment to service right here at home. Meet Dr. Javad Mashkouri, a returned volunteer from Mali, West Africa, who is now making a difference in his community.
I joined the Peace Corps because it gave me an opportunity to do something worthwhile in a place that was much different than the place that I grew up and knew. And when I got to Mali, it blew me away. My job was to train local masons and well diggers to construct safe drinking water wells. Peace Corps showed me what happens when you don't have access to health care. We were providing clean water, which to everyone there is health. And we try to do the same thing here by providing health care. I'd recommend the Peace Corps to anyone that was thinking about any job. It's given me more self-confidence in dealing with patients and other people. And I think in Peace Corps you learn the value of service. You're going to want to be in a position to give service back.
Peace Corps volunteers, changing the world, changing America. Make a difference. Call 800-424-8580. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Vincent Watson, are you listening? This is Dorothy Franklin, and you mentor my son, Corey. He says you help him with questions he has. But ever since you came into his life, things haven't been the same. His grades have gone up. He seems happier. You've made a difference in my son's life, Vincent. To him, you are a mentor. To me, you are a saint.
Do good. Call 1-877-BE-A-MENTOR.
Message brought to you by Save the Children U.S. and the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Shane Carpenter, Program Manager of Sacramento's Voice. We at Access Sacramento are embarking on a grand adventure to bring local community radio back home. We've created a radio station that reflects the cultural enrichment of Greater Sacramento, and you can help. Call 456-5199 anytime and tell us what your community is doing and how we can help. Sacramento's Voice is your voice, together creating community radio. It began in 1986. In 1988, Access Sacramento brought you round-the-clock community radio. In 1997, Sacramento's Voice is heard worldwide on the Internet. In May of 1998, Access Sacramento expands the community voice again. Stay tuned as we usher in a new era in Sacramento radio. Access Sacramento and The Voice, Sacramento's community cable radio, Internet, and something more. Sacramento's community radio, The Voice.
Yeah, so here we are back again, Bob, after our station break. So for those of you who have just tuned in, I'm talking with Bob, who is a person who has had a lot of adventures in life and a lot of hard knocks in life, and he's here to talk about those kinds of things and what he's done, the positive things he's done for himself that maybe some of you who are listening may want to use, and some of the things that, and then we'll talk with Joe and Bob, and we'll find out what ideas we all together might be able to do. So here's Bob. So Bob, what are you hoping to do while you're here today?
I don't know. Just share some of my experiences that what led me here, brought me here, and wound up in this situation, and looking for the good points of looking to the good points that while all of this has happened.
Okay, so what are some of the, let's start with some of the bad things that have happened, or what happened that was good for you, and then all of a sudden stuff that got bad for you, you know, where you've been coming from. So give a context for our listeners to know, you know, where you've been, like, were you a businessman? Were you a tennis player? What did you do in life?
Well, I was a tennis player. That didn't seem to affect me in any way negatively. Well, yes, it did. It caused my knee to rupture, but we got that fixed, and I don't play that hard anymore. The other things, I was a businessman. I thought I was very successful. If you looked at my balance sheet, it said I was. Then, during this process of real estate development, I started using alcohol, and then I started being less successful and using more alcohol. So approximately 10 years ago, I stopped drinking, was penniless, and had a kidney stone pass that put me into the hospital, and I had no money, which led me into different welfare programs. And welfare is not perfect, but it sure is a lot better than zero.
So you're saying maybe you had some good things that came out of welfare for you. Are you still on welfare? What have you know? Have you been able to work yourself out of it? Where are you now in the picture?
Well, once I was hospitalized, it automatically started a process from general assistance to federal SSI disability. The disability I receive now started in '94, and it has allowed me to choose my own doctors, and I have just done fantastic with some of the illnesses that I've had. And I'm right now the best I've been in probably 20 years.
So you're feeling better, but you're not working. You're on disability, and are you looking to move out of disability, or and is it enough to live on?
Well, one of the good things is that you learn how to live on $650 a month, and being financially, I'm confused at this moment. Bear with me. The $650 a month is very difficult to live on and keep up your insurance on your automobile, do all the auto repair, and take care of all the other things to be socially responsible. For some time I drove without insurance, thinking that was thrust upon me by the low amount of income.
Not to lead the listener to think, are you driving a Cadillac or a Mercedes, a 1999, or is this a vehicle that you have something else?
I have something else. I have a van. It's a 1977 van, and I call my van home. And it's been my home for many years, over 5 years. I haven't, but it's the only way that I know of that I can do the other socially responsible things and stay out of the rain.
Right. So what other things beside the alcohol got in your way of your, you know, your physical things, any other kind of things that got in your way of being able to be fully employed? I mean, you sound like a really smart guy. So, you know, what's getting in the way?
Well, it's not Friday, and Friday's a real bad day for me because I can become very stupid and can't even do anything properly. the jokes aside, because because I did become disabled, they started looking into maybe I might have some other issues, mental issues, that led to and caused some of the difficulties that I have, or had then and have now. The improvement in medical selection, I've been able to access some of the best medical opinions as anyone else can, and I've discovered some additional problems I have.
Like what?
Attention deficit disorder is one of them.
Okay, so if you could hold for a minute, and we need to stop for a station identification, and we'll be back and find out what this little thing called attention deficit disorder is, okay?
The Voice is 88.7 Cable FM and KYDS 91.5 FM Sacramento.
Okay, attention deficit disorder, adult attention. I've heard, kids have it, and I think adults seem to have it, that it just doesn't go away. So have you had it all your life, Bob?
I never even knew what it was. Yes, I have had it all my life. It was with me when they didn't even know what it was. And because I'm on Medi-Cal, and there are so few resources in the Sacramento area for the diagnosis of attention deficit disorder, I was fortunate enough to go to the City of Hope in Southern California and meet Dr. David E. Cummings, who's one of the leading researchers and the director of the genetic research at the City of Hope. And he gave me the diagnosis of severe attention deficit disorder. What that does to me is it causes massive distraction.
Can't concentrate.
Can't concentrate. Causes me not to finish projects.
You don't finish them, you kind of wander away and find something else to do. Is that what you mean?
That's exactly what I mean. And sometimes I may have 30, 40, 50 projects going on at one time, and these are things that I can do and enjoy doing. I'm a great help to someone now today. I mean, I can't make any money. I can't earn any money.
Why can't you earn any money?
I tried that, and the only thing I was successful in doing was being able to make commitments that distractions took me away from and caused the people great irritation and frustration that I had made these commitments to. So I don't make these commitments today.
So it's also part of your not being able to work for money is that you are on disability also, and that you're not allowed to work and earn over your $650 a month.
Yes, that's correct. And it's been a very joyful experience to know that I can live on $650 a month. When I first saw that this was going to be the extent of my total income, it was very frightening, very, very scary.
Yeah, well, I can see that, Bob. So how about if we bring in Joe right now and maybe talk about his knowledge about ADD and the alcoholism and all of that kind of things, and things that he might think of that are maybe things we haven't thought about before.
Well, we've been, since becoming aware of ADD, we have been looking at ways for dealing with it in the human service area and referring people to whatever helping resource there is. As Bob puts it, there's very little in the way of general resource in the health community to work with it. However, we know that the person's acknowledgement of it is really important, and we are still looking for an effective treatment process for it.
What kind of treatment do you have now that people are using?
Well, there is a medical a supportive thing, and we refer people to the health clinics for the medical support for that, and we accept whatever they have to offer in the way of suggestions for our counseling services.
So have your clients found good luck going into these county services, and are they get treated well, and does it seem to make a difference in their behavior and things that they're able to do?
Generally, they've been pretty good at making the connections, following through with the connections, and getting some change in how they live with themselves and how they can follow through on things, and keeping their appointments with us and the helping resource, and generally following through with their treatment plan. We see an improvement in their ability to follow through in this way whenever they make the connection and stick with it.
Yeah, so Bob, what has been your experiences with some of the agencies here in town?
Prior to becoming eligible for Medi-Cal, the local facilities in the primary care are pretty minimal, quite minimal. They'll keep you alive, but I think working beyond that level, it's just understaffed. It's underfunded.
Yeah. So what about how are they about knowing about adult attention deficit disorder?
I can't really comment on at that level. I don't know, because what happened in my case is my diagnosis occurred at the time I was already on Medi-Cal. But I did find that there were no medical facilities in this area, and it required me to go to Southern California, to the City of Hope, and
I mean, to go for a diagnosis of City of Hope, you couldn't get a good diagnosis of ADD here in town?
I could not get any diagnosis on ADD in Sacramento, and yes, that was the only place in California that I have found that would service me. And then that meant I had to travel back to the City of Hope every 6 months for a review with the doctor to renew and continue the prescriptions.
Okay, so that's kind of bleak. That was about how many years ago now?
That was in 1994.
Okay, well, hopefully things have changed. I do know some other people who have been diagnosed with ADD, and many doctors don't seem to know too much about it. They haven't been trained in it. Some doctors don't believe in it. So that's one of the areas that I've noticed in my practice where people have to do a lot of research, look up on internet, look up ADD, look under CHAD, the organization that deals with people who have attention deficit disorder. It's a great organization. So anything else that you'd like to say? We have some more time and things that are crucial that you see going on, or you, Joe, see that needs to be handled here in our community.
Well, the lack of resources for serving the ADD community, not only it's not only peculiar to that, but in the general sense, there's not enough, either a resource or a united resource that follows one thing to another, so that a person doesn't, one, have to travel all over the county looking for it, and two, doesn't have to figure out how to link it together. It needs to be something that we call systematically organized.
So is that what you're talking about, your integrated services that you're wanting to pull together?
Exactly.
Okay, so if any of you out there in Radio Land have any information about, or you want to work with Joe or have some ideas, if you're a doctor or a nurse or somebody that deals with this, if you're just a person who has ADD, contact Joe at SBAC. Okay?
Yes, that'd be fine, Reva. Thanks
yeah.
a lot.
And now time for another station break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Community Radio for Sacramento, The Voice. The Voice of Sacramento brings you the only audio virtual village, Rabbit Hollow, 11 a.m. to noon on Fridays and again at 11 p.m. Get ready for eclectic sounds and eccentric adventures right after the big backyard on The Voice of Sacramento.
Hi, this is Mike Lidskin of Twirl, the finest music from the rock era. Do you wonder where all your favorite critically acclaimed musical artists can be found? Right here. On Twirl, you'll hear a lot of great recorded music out there that's been neglected by the other Sacramento radio stations. You'll also hear a lot of obscure gems and forgotten hits by really popular artists. And of course, we'll play the occasional oddball novelty record just to keep the mix lively. So listen to Twirl each week on Sacramento's Voice.
Catch Twirl Saturdays from 4 to 6 on The Voice.
Do you have dreams?
Do you have goals? Everyone does.
No matter what race or color they are.
Talk to each other. Listen to each other. Sure, we're all different.
But we're also all the same.
Understand the similarities.
Respect the differences.
Help end prejudice in your lifetime. Call 1-800-934-3430 or log on to www.whitehouse.gov. Together, we can build one America in the 21st century. Brought to you by the President's Initiative on Race, the Leadership Conference Education Fund, and the Ad Council.
This is a story about American heroes. They changed quite a few lives last year. Jorge Vasquez put out fires, but no, he's not a firefighter. Philip Dale discovered several new stars. Oh, he's not an astronomer. And Elaine Capobianco, she saved a child from drowning, but she's not a lifeguard. They're teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
I'm a teacher. The children are the heroes.
We're not just teaching subject matter, we're teaching human beings.
I am tough as nails, but they know that I love them.
I mean, we've got a legacy that follows behind us forever.
Teachers have the power to make an impact on our future. California will need about 250,000 more of them in the next 10 years. Reach for that power. Teach. Call 1-888-CAL-TEACH now. A public service message brought to you by CalTeach, the Ad Council, and this station.
Now you can listen longer. Access Sacramento expands its worldwide internet service. Point your web browser to www.sacramento.org. Access our real audio feed now from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday Pacific Coast time. Brought to you in part by Sacramento Network Access and the Access Sacramento Media Lab. For more information, call area code 916-456-8600. Internet radio from Access Sacramento, making a difference one voice at a time.
The Voice and Access Sacramento are helping to make a difference. Just ask Charmy Silva of WEAVE.
WEAVE is an agency in Sacramento. It stands for Women Escaping a Violent Environment. Our agency's been around about 20 years. Mainly, we're an agency that offers counseling for victims of domestic violence or dating violence. We offer counseling for male perpetrators of domestic violence, and we also offer counseling for victims of sexual assault. I am creating a video for sexual assault awareness that I will be using in the classroom. I go out into many high schools throughout Sacramento, and I've been able to create the project by taking classes at Access to learn how to use the camera and do the editing, so I'm able to do everything myself.
Charmy Silva is one of many Access members who've learned to help make a difference in our community. Get involved by becoming a member of Access Sacramento. Call us at 456-8600. Access Sacramento, making a difference, one voice at a time.
For a different listening experience, 88.7 Cable FM and KYDS 91.5, the voice you need to hear.
Yes, hi. Now we're back after the station break, and we discovered somebody else who maybe has a slight case of ADD, another adult, and I'd like to bring her to say a few things about her experience.
Hi again. I was often looking at my piles and the way in which I managed paperwork, and although I've been very organized, I was getting very, discouraged and could see the signs of attention deficit disorder, just an ability to manage 9 or 8, 10 things at one time, but never quite finishing any of them. So that led me to looking into it and seeing what could be done. And so,
your doctors have been real helpful?
Yes, they have. And they said that usually, in my case, it didn't interfere with my production at work or my desires to accomplish things in life. So at first they were hesitant to label, that. But then they could see all the frustrations and lack of being able to sit still. I just thought I had high energy, but it's limiting. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, some people, have just ADD and nothing else bothering it. Like Bob was talking about, he has some other kinds of things that also got in the way with his ADD, and his had alcohol, had used alcohol, maybe affected his brains in some way too. What other kinds of things did you have going on? Dyslexia. Also, I believe. And what else? See, some people with ADD have many comorbid, they call it,